Hey, Schoolbus here, doing another coffee time with Schoolbus. Let me take a sip of coffee here. Shout out to Klaus on that one. So, I was noticing over the last few weeks here that older videos of mine that people were watching tended to be the school bus and coffee. So I thought, it's been months and months and months. It may be approaching a year since I've done one of those. Maybe it's time to do one. And I realized it had been a while since I'd gone in and looked at my stats. And so for any of you who are newer to the World of Tanks world, I know that a lot of you are not. And so this website, whatlife.com, is not anything new to you. So for that aspect of it, this isn't really going to help you out a lot. But what I think is a good idea, whether you've been around the game for a long time or not, is to go out and take a look at your stats. And you can do this in-game. You can also do this through external websites such as this. Go out, take a look, see where you're doing good, see where you're not, see which tanks you're playing better. Because sometimes what I find is my frustration with the game is because I've been playing a bunch of tanks that the stats say, dude, you're just not real good at these tanks. And I'll switch back to some of the ones that I statistically do play better, and I'll generally feel better about myself. And I guess my advice there is you want to kind of do a little bit of both. You need to expand your garage, but don't work so hard on expanding your garage that it makes you hate the game. So anyway, enough chit-chat about that. Looking at my high-level stats, I'm up to 16,246 games. Yeah, don't do the math for my wife that explains to her how many hours I've played this game. My average tier is up to 6.86. That seems about right. If you've seen any of the Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday live streams, yeah, that's about where we usually play. My win rate overall is up to 55.47. Now, this is an important spot. 300ths more. And anybody out there using XVM, they're going to see me as a 56% player. That's definitely a place I never thought I'd be. So that's pretty cool. My overall win rate is at 18-16. That's been pretty flat. Once I broke 18, that had always been kind of a target of mine, and that's where I'm at. I've generally been more focused on my win rate. That I want our team to win. If I do well and do a lot of damage, great, but I'm more about the team winning. Haven't played in the last 24 hours and did pretty well in the last 7 days here on those 14 games, and even in the last month, let's call it, the last 30 days, my win rate is, if you round it up, 58%. It's pretty good. But again, note the win rate, pretty consistent, 18-21 versus my lifetime average of 18-16. Now, the part I really wanted to get into is the tanks. Note I have played 199 tanks. So I'll have to remember the next new tank I play, this will be my 200th tank in the game. It's kind of cool. There's my point of, at least over the short run, win rate's been the same. But let's look at these tanks. And let's just go in here and let's sort descending on win 8. The thing you have to do first of all is pay attention to how many battles you played. The Turan 3 doesn't really count. I played one game. But most of these tanks that are at the top of the list, I've played more than 50 games in them, which for the number of games overall that I've played, that's not too bad. 1357, definitely my best and favorite tank. And I think just this last live stream, I think maybe we were having, or no, maybe it was a week or two ago, some discussion in the chat about the 1357 and that I really liked it. And somebody got it because I liked it. And they did okay with it. But it clicks with me. It is the quintessential light tank for me. I really, really like it. Apparently I suffered pretty well through that tier 6 Panard. I'm not going to read excuse me, I'm not going to read through all of these, but what I want to summarize here is I would suspect that most of you could go through, you could look at this top list and figure out, are you doing well at light tanks, medium tanks, tank destroyers, arty, whatever it is, you can probably figure out what class of tank is going the best for you. Further to that, not all tanks in their class play like their class. For example, it's apparently dropped a ways down on the list now. The T10 used to be a bit higher on my list, and it hasn't dropped because I'm playing poorly in it now. It's just that I've played better in other tanks. The T10, though, really isn't a heavy tank. It really is more of a medium, and that seems to fit in here with I tend to have a lot of light and medium tanks at the top of the list. The Emil 1 is an exception. I really like autoloaders, and I think the reason the Emil is so high on here is because of the gun platform. It is not necessarily because it's a heavy tank. But light tanks are obviously what I'm into. That's a bit interesting. If you go back in my history of the game, when I started playing it, I really didn't think that I would like light tanks. I kind of scoffed at it, like, what's the point of those? And then there was one day I was looking for something to watch while I was like on the treadmill or something like that, back when I used to do such things. And I saw this guy, 4 Tankers and Dog, and he had these strategy series, so like, or no, it was the Where the F to Go campaign, or not campaign, playlist. And I was going through watching his videos, and I began to develop an appreciation for the light tanks. And that really started my journey toward, let me try these out. And I played through the French first because I definitely did want to try out the autoloaders. And I never really found a line that I liked better than the AMX line. But I've played through quite a few other ones since then. As you can see here on the list, it's generally gone pretty well for me. So, on the other end of the spectrum, and then we'll conclude, taking up enough of your time here, I generally want to stay away from these tanks. Now, most of these, you can tell, are ones that were just from when I first started playing the game. I didn't know what was going on. I tried. I'd go out and I don't know if I was watching many videos at that point, but I was definitely reading strategy things, and it maybe helped. I guess it could have been worse. But let's see here. Where's some higher level ones? So like right now, yeah, things are going pretty rough in my T-54 lightweight, but it's still stock. Where's another high tier one? Panther 2. Yeah, I can't play that thing for very long. I get really frustrated. Now, I think I can get better, but my point is, don't just decide, you know what? If you were me, I'm going to play the Panther 2 like all night tonight. I will probably end up throwing things if I did that. Definitely need to balance the Panther 2 with maybe play 2 or 3 games in the Panther 2 and then hop in the 1357 or hop in the Emil 1. Something like that. Don't just hang out trying to grind these tanks that you're doing terribly in. Or the Sheridan here. There's a tier 10. Having an awful time in it. The matchmaker must just see me hop in that thing and they're like, we're just going to give you a team full of people equal to your capability and you guys are going to lose. Notice it equal to my capability. Not that great. On the comparative tier 10 spectrum. So, that's my advice. Go check out whatlife.com. See what tanks you're good at. Make sure you're balancing the ones that you like and the ones that you don't. And with that, I'm going to take another sip of coffee and maybe think about getting the kids packed up and head to church or something like that. So, have a great day. I'll hopefully see you all this week in a live stream. Thanks for watching.